There we go. Right. Please, for the love of God, someone tell me that this is fine. Because now I'm going to have to watch this one. Oh, it's just a pain in the backside when YouTube does this. View channel, take 2. Come on, please be working. Oh, it's just a pain in the backside when YouTube does this. I think it's working. We're working. Way.
Everything's positive.
Welcome back. So now my YouTube, people are going to go to my channel and go, why did this dickhead do 2 lives in an hour?
Well, now they have to watch for the suspense.
Yeah. What's the first one? And then move on. I don't even know where we were. I've literally spent the last 10 minutes worrying about lagging.
Talking about that Newcastle fixture.
Yes. Yeah. So interesting. So, SOF or SOF or whatever we're going to go by, mentions that game, right? And says that it's a big moment for Spurs. It's interesting, isn't it? Because look, it is Newcastle away. I don't care what anyone says. That's a tough ground to go to.
Don't forget they're the champions.
Pardon?
They're the champions of the cup, aren't they, as well?
Well, they're the cup holders, right? They are at home at St. James's Park where they very rarely lose. I know Arsenal beat them there, but Arsenal are, I know we don't like it, but they are a bloody good team who are favourites to win the league at the moment, which is annoying, and we must make sure that doesn't happen. But it's a tough game to go to. Now, both clubs, if I'm not wrong, will be playing that game sandwiched in between a Premier League game and a Champions League game.
2 Premier League.
2 Premier League games, is it?
Yeah, because we've got Villa. So we've got Villa, then we got Monaco, then we got Everton, then we got Newcastle, then we got Chelsea.
Right. Okay. Well, look, both teams, you would think, I can't imagine both teams going full strength, but is that game really important for Frank? And what I mean by that is it's the first opportunity we could either go through or go out to being able to win a trophy, right? If that makes sense.
Yep.
And you know what will happen? It will be, oh, well, Ange won a trophy and he got knocked out to Newcastle. It's a bit of a red herring, really, because whatever happens there, he can't really win, can he? Like,
well, the way I've looked at it with this one is it's the first time Frank's got played in 4 competitions. If we were all to sit down and say, okay, one cup we go out of, which cup would you choose to go out of? It would be this one. Especially for the romantics like you and me that hold the FA Cup near and dear to us. So if we win it, absolutely fantastic. You knock out the champions. We beat the Newcastle away. We defeat the streak, so to speak, of how bad our performances have been there. And we go through to the quarterfinals. Should we lose it, depending on the manner of defeat, I'm going to be disappointed we're out of a cup, but I'll be fine with it. It brings us back to 3 games, 3 cup competitions, and we're still in the main 2. So I don't think that, obviously I want to go through and win. But if we go out of this one and you go out to Newcastle away, I mean, if we had got Wrexham at home and gone out, or got out to Doncaster, then you're talking big problem. You go out at Newcastle away, and then you're looking where we are, and that's sandwiched between Everton and Chelsea. You've got him thinking, he thinks game by games, and he'll come with it. Maybe it'll be Tell up front. If he starts Tell up front, he starts Tell up front for me. If he starts whoever, if he rests Kudus and Simmons and brings him off on the bench, I understand these tactics because he's thinking around the Premier League and everything. So I still think we might beat the Jinx. I think if you're looking at our squad wise, I think our squad may be a little bit stronger than theirs. We've seen how key their I can't remember his full name, the German striker Wolfmeeder or what's his name?
Waldemar.
Very close. Wolfmeeder. Very close. I think he looks a real talent. Does he play him? Does he play Bruno? So they've got key players that could be rested as well. So I still think we might get we might go through on penalties is what I'm predicting on that one.
Yeah, look, it's a difficult one because we can all sit here right now. By the way, you guys, 30 likes. I know. Come on, for this chat, for this new take 2 to go around the internet, we need more than 30 likes. It's difficult because we don't know what situation we're going to be in squad wise. Because I
Yep.
mean, it is what the 28th,
29th.
29th. Yeah, because then we play Chelsea on the 1st, right?
Correct.
Which is my birthday. Chelsea on the 1st. So we don't know. Is Moani going to be fully fit by then? You know what I mean? Is Moani going to be ready to be playing 90 minutes? You know, does Paulinho play? I mean, I'm guessing Paulinho will have to play away at Newcastle. I would worry about our midfield without him. But look, it's going to be interesting, right? I don't look at many squads in world football and think, yeah, you can cope with 4 competitions. That's not us. Listen, I look at Arsenal and go, yeah, you've got no excuse. Arsenal have got a lot of players, and
unfortunately,
and they have, haven't they? They've got a lot of good defenders. They can literally, they could drop their back 4 and still put out a back 4 of Ben White, Mosquera, Hincapi, and Lewis Skelly. Like that's their backup 4, right? Clubs like that and Liverpool should be able to do it. We're not there. Spurs and Newcastle aren't clubs that should be able to cope with 4 competitions in one season. So I'm not going to be judging him by 1 game away at Newcastle. But look, what I'm more impressed about is I'm impressed that the players seem to be very happy. You actually, they all look very happy in the training videos, in the games. They look very much like they're very aligned with his man-to-man management of this football.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Very, very fair. I mean, you look at it as well, Savva, we're getting to the point now, I'd actually really like to see this. We're getting to a point where we could see, for games like this, a Danso and Dragusin defence and give Romero and Porro on the bench and give them a rest. I mean, I love Kevin Danso. I love him. I think he's brilliant. I honestly do. I think we got a steal in Kevin Danso. I love him. And I think Dragusin will be a lot better playing this style of defending, not the high line. He's more suited as an old school defender. So you could say we've got 4 centre-backs almost back with Dragusin that you would say could do the job. Obviously, there's no break in the main partnership and they're not coming in to dismantle that. But Frank's options are starting to open up. Mm-hmm. So there are options. And Danso and Dragusin are 2 very capable defenders in this kind of style. And like you said, we haven't got the selection or the depth that the Filth have got, or the teams around there. But what he's achieving right now, he came in July, but he's been there, what, 3 months? Mm-hmm. He's been here 3 months. And what he's doing right now, people are talking about us. I mean, Alan Shearer was very, very, very complimentary about us against Leeds. We've seen with Kudus just how badly we missed a right winger now in Valencia. I mean, if we can
talk about him in a bit because he's class.
Mean, if we can get a left winger in, that is of a high standard, then we could be we honestly could be absolutely flying. It's what he's doing right now with what he's got is to be applauded and admired. And as you said as well, Sarah, if you look at it, the media, you won't find one person that will say a bad word about him. Not one. No one does. No one writes any pieces about him in any way other than what a top guy. Yeah. And I was speaking to my mate the other week. He actually works for Chelsea. We worked there together, and he's a coach for Chelsea. And he said, he's always said to me, he said, Frank is so well thought of in the coaching circles. And he said there was a seminar a year or so back where they have like these FA coaching seminars where you get all the people who we wouldn't know as fans, but highly qualified coaches. And then they have a guest coach that comes in and does the day and talks. And he said Thomas Frank was the guest for the day. And everyone was just like really, really into it. He said it was riveting. Like he was just the way he was doing things, and he went, God, I never thought of that aspect, or I never said the way he explained the game and the way he'd explained the tactical shapes and stuff. And this is why, from everything I heard, this is why I was very much a Thomas Frank in. I know you were very much Thomas Frank in, and I don't regret it. And this isn't going to be one of those things where, oh my God, we've lost to Villa, Frank out, everything, Frank. But
we know we're going to get it. We know we're already getting it, right? I.e., Bodo Glimt. We beat Bodo Glimt under Ange because we didn't under Frank. There you go. He's shit. I feel like as a fan base, we've got to move away from this. I feel like as a fan base, we've got to move away from what's been. Like, we talk about Poch loads. We talk about Conte. We talk about Jose. We talk about Ange. Like, I feel like we need to get into the space of Thomas Frank's our guy.
Yep.
Let's get behind him. There's going to be, I think Lubo calls it really well when he said at the beginning of the season, there's going to be a lot of this season, and there's going to be some of this. And then it's not going to be plain sailing. But before we move on, we've got a good one. We've got a very good guy here.
Well, I keep saying we haven't struck gold, we've struck platinum. That's literally what we've done with him and the coaching staff. Obviously, with everything that's going on above him, it's wait and see time. But everything is like, do you know what it got to the point with as well? I've been speaking to a lot of people and they're like, well, nothing's going to change. It's the same Enoch. And I'm like, yeah, by name, but it's not the same Enoch. Joe Lewis isn't in charge. It's Vivian and Charlie. There's no Donna Cullen. There's no micromanaging Levy. There's Vinay now. The whole thing is different. So I'm like, that's all changed. And then I kept saying the only thing they could do before January is give people like Mickey van der Ven a contract and put them on parity of what they should be on and reward them for what they've done and get that wage structure high. That's all they can do till January. They're like, oh, well, they're not going to invest. They put 100 million in. And then people say, well, 100 million doesn't even touch the surface. It's like, well, wait a minute. A minute ago, it was they're not going to invest. Then they do. And then they even said this is just the beginning. This is just the first instalment. I've seen loads of reports as well today, and this is something that never happened under Levy, where Frank apparently is meeting with the transfer committee and the powers that be today to discuss addressing that forward line. When we come to transfer windows with a certain person in charge, we were hearing that meetings hadn't even taken place on the eve of a window. So I think the whole dynamics and everything at the club has had a 180, and we'll see what happens. You won't hear a bad word from me. I think Vivian really wants success on the pitch, from what I've heard multiple times. Let's just hope now we see that their power and influence and the way we negotiate with other clubs, both getting players out and players in, will change. I'm giving them 2 windows minimum to prove what they're worth, and I'm just so happy, like I said before, with everything at this football club right now. Everything. Yeah,
it's a good point. By the way, just a little bit of news for anybody that cares out there. So Jack Wilshere is the new manager of Luton Town. That's just been officially announced. And Glasner is in early talks over a new Crystal Palace deal. Now, they've said it's early days and that him and Parrish are talking, but interesting one, because this is the year, by the way, where Glasner, Iriola and Silva, all of their contracts are up in the summer. So there's some good managers to be had there if these guys do not sign a new contract. Maybe a manager merry-go-round in the summer. Who knows? That's just away from Tottenham. That is. Let's talk about that then. Let's talk about the Enoch kids are in charge. The kids who are in their 60s. I love this. You know, the kids have got it. Listen, it's the noises we're hearing come out of the club, Brian, are that they now want success on the pitch. We're hearing words being used now like sporting success. Right? We're like, oh. So we're moving away from fancy hand dryers in the toilets. We actually want some fancy footballers. However, my mum always taught me that the proof of the pudding is in the eating, right? The proof would be you can talk a good game, but let's see what happens.
Correct.
But are we in danger here of, because the next window we've got is January, are we in danger of all judging too harshly? Now, obviously, we don't know, we don't know what's going to happen in January, but it is notoriously tough in January to do really big business. But is it important that as fans, like you said, that we say, okay, let's give them January and we'll give them the summer and go, right, prove to us prove to us two things. One, that you do want sporting success. And two, prove to us that there was a reason you didn't sell. Prove to us there was a reason you keep rejecting these expressions of interest. Is that fair to say?
So first of all, I mean, I think that I can't remember his name again, but the American DJ that said he's going to put 1.2 billion. Yeah, it's all. I've said this. I've spoken to so many people. Any noise you hear, I'm not listening to a single word of it. I've been down this road. You've been down this road before, where takeover talks happen, and it looks like it's just PR to get that person some spotlight, and some attention, and some attraction. So I don't believe any of these. Until I hear that they're going to the Premier League for the fit and proper test, or like they're being audited and exchanging deep, then you start listening about it. When it comes to this window, I've had this. I'll run this past you and see what you think, and the people in the chat. I've said it on my channel, and we are Tottenham TV all the time.
Before you run anything past them, can you tell them to hit the like button and subscribe? I mean, that would help.
Well, I'm going to parrot what Savva said and hit the like and subscribe before I drop some truth bombs. So, look at that, the windscreen wipers. Let's do it. Let's do the windscreen wiper.
One of my mods would put Tottenham on Tour's link in the chat. That would be amazing. Thank you.
So let's use the left winger that obviously we didn't sign this window. Whether people, my theory behind it, my hope and belief is, I used the Virgil van Dijk to Liverpool kind of example. Well, obviously they tried to get him all summer at Southampton. Southampton dug their heels in. And then once they dug their heels in, Klopp has come out and said, obviously, they offered him alternatives. And he said, nope, I've got enough to get me by until January. I want us to go get Van Dijk in January. And obviously they did. As Spurs fans, we've spoken a lot of times about how we've wasted money on player X, player Y, player Z, and why didn't we use that to go towards the number one target. So I personally think that we're going to address this left winger option, or maybe even a striker, pretty sharpish in January. Rather than wasting the money, I literally think Thomas Frank has said, you know what, I've got Johnson, Odegaard. If Kulu comes back, I could play Simmons, whoever, on that left wing to get me by till January. But in January, I want you to go all out for player whoever it may be. Could have been Semenyo, but his contract signed. It could be whoever. I think what we got to remember, going into January, we always say it's tough, but big deals have been done in January by serious teams that have wanted a player, haven't messed about, agreed to the terms. Obviously, you're paying a bit of a premium because it's January and you want him in your squad because he's so key. I think the way Spurs handle transfers, I think teams are going to be able to speak to us now because they know they're not going to be played about like they have been. They're not going to be messed about. So I think it's all about quality in January. I'd be fine if we just went and got a left winger. If we went and got Thomas Frank's number one left winger, and let's say he was 60, 70 mil, whatever he was, if they said, right, that's what we're doing, we're now going to, this is the squad till January, might have a couple of players go out and maybe a loan come in, but we need to address this left winger. Thomas Frank wants whoever this player is. We're going to do everything we can to get him in. That's a successful window for me. That's got in, identified quality.
If they turn around and said, right, I know they would never say this, but if they turn around and went, right, we're only bringing one in January, but it is the big left winger.
Yeah.
Right? I don't
or striker, let's say, or striker.
Yeah. But if it is a player of real quality and you go, okay, cool, brilliant. And then we'll get to the summer and do the rest. What I don't want to see, and I feel like, I can't speak for the fan base, but I feel like most of the fan base will agree with me here. I think what we don't want to see, and what I definitely don't want to see, is that we just do stopgaps. What I don't want to see is that we go and loan more Matisse Tells. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't want to see that we go and do this more hit and hopes. I want to see that, look, it is January. Big deals have been done, but there isn't loads. We went through it the other day. There isn't loads. Obviously, the Virgil van Dijk example is one. Fernando Torres, Bruno Fernandes is one. Nemanja Matic has moved in the January.
Bruno to Newcastle, Trippier to Newcastle. Not big, but you know what I mean? They're movers. They're not easy.
big enough signings. For me, I think the key thing here is this. And the guy that's being used as every example at the moment is
Semenyo,
right? Semenyo, I'll be honest, it's going to be one of those names where, as much as I like him as a player, I'm going to start hating the name of the player, because we're going to do with him what we did with Eze. You remember, everything in the summer was, would you sign this player? I don't mind him, but he's not Eze. And that's what's going to happen now with any wide player we're linked with, Brian, is going to be, oh, he's good, but he's not Semenyo. I just want Semenyo. So we don't know how it's going to pan out, but let's use him as the example after me saying all of that. I'll contradict myself. It's not just as easy as just going to get him, right? Because a lot of this is going to depend on, let's assume Semenyo's your number one choice for January.
Yep.
Spurs, if that's the case, Spurs as a professional football club will have our intermediaries, whoever, talking to his agent right now. Hey, what's the situation? How happy is he? I know he's signed a new contract. Is that so he could get a bigger move? Is that to get them more transfer fee? Is this more wages? Is he interested? Yes, he's interested in Spurs. No, he's not. There's the first thing, right? Yes, he is. Brilliant. What's it going to take for us to get him in January? Well, you're going to have to give him 200 grand a week. Fine, we can do that. You're going to have to offer him a 5-6 year deal. Sure, we can do that. You're going to have to, right. What are Bournemouth going to want to make it happen? Because this is the key thing. When people say it's just about us getting it done, it's not. This is about Bournemouth. And the way I look at this, Brian, and sorry if going on, right?
That's right.
Right. The way I look at this is twofold. I think Semenyo would absolutely come to Tottenham Hotspur. For sure. Like, no disrespect to Bournemouth. I think they're a brilliantly run football club with a superb coach, good owners, but they are the size they are for a reason. They are, right? So I've got no doubt about we could turn his head. I'm not going to get into what if Arsenal want him. That's a different story. The big thing is going to be here is, what position are Bournemouth in at the start of January?
Yep.
So if Bournemouth are sitting in the top 5 or 6 in January, which why not? They're a very good team. We play once a week. Spurs could go to Bournemouth and go 80 million. And Bournemouth can go, well, we're 5th or 6th. We're trying to compete for Europe for the first time ever. Does it make sense to sell our best player who's getting all of our goals and assists in January? Now, if that's the case, then you plan the game. Well, okay, do we go excessive and go, okay, well, what's it going to take? Is it going to take 100 million? Or do you go, well, no, we'll come back in January? And I think that's the difference for me. Sorry for the long. This is the difference for me about, can we get Semenyo versus when can we get Semenyo? That's the big talking point for me.
Yeah, well, Bournemouth have come out apparently, or I saw a few tweets saying that they've said he will be available in January, but the starting price is 100 million. Listen, as much as we want Spurs to be signing the big players and playing the big boys game, Spurs aren't going from where they are right now to bidding 100 million for Semenyo. It's just simply not happening.
What's the biggest signing?
Solanke, well, yes, Solanke, 65. 65. There's no way Spurs are going to have that elite of a jump straight away. I just can't see it. And 100 million. And you know what? With this, there's probably, with the scouting network we have now from Frank and what we know, there are probably left wingers available that could come in and do what Frank wants.
Sure.
Because what Frank will do is he'll buy for the team that fits the ethos, is no dickhead policy. Not saying Semenyo is a dickhead, but I can't see Spurs. Can we really say that Semenyo is a £100 million player? And remember, Bournemouth are the one club I'd say that, like you said, them and Brentford should be commended for how they run as a football club, what they do as a football club, how their owners will do what they can for their managers. They are fantastically run football clubs. But Bournemouth, they've just recently taken 65 from us. They had their back three of their back four go for big money. They don't need. They're in a world right now which, unlike 10, 15 years ago, everyone will be circling around Bournemouth every season to just take all their best players every single window. Bournemouth don't need to. They've got a very well-run club, very rich owners, and they're cash rich. They could say, if someone comes in with 100 mil, they could go, okay, no, now it's 105, 110, because they don't need the money. They're in no PSR predicaments or anything. I just can't see us, as much as I'd like to see a Semenyo. I'm not getting into all that. I'm not falling in the traps anymore. Like I said, after this window, the only person I listen to is David Ornstein, the only one. And until he speaks, it's old news that there's left wingers about.
Our fan base will make out Semenyo is the only one that can come in and play this formation. I think if the summer taught us anything, is that we don't know. At one point, it looked like we were going to have Gibbs, White, and Eze.
Yeah,
right. They were the two names.
Yep.
Neither of them are at Tottenham now, and we're doing okay, right? So,
yep.
Look, I think the interesting thing as well is one thing that we got to talk about when looking at transfer fees is you're right. Bournemouth are not in any financial trouble at all. Bournemouth, they sold what? They sold Kirkes, Dean Hewson, and Zabani for. Those three between them must have been 140, 150 million.
At least.
Absolutely ridiculous. Right? They sold Solanke the year before. I think did they just sell Watara to Brentford as well?
I think you might be right. They always sell. They sell always at a big profit. Always.
But now you've got another dimension to it. Okay, Spurs, you can have Semenyo for 80 million, but we want 60 of it up front.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just making that. I don't know. Right?
No, you're right.
Because this is the difference between when we say footballers are worth 100 million, obviously that 100 million is never paid up front. That 100, unless that 100 million is not paid up front. That 100 million is probably, okay, we'll give you 30 up front and then 4 installments of whatever. Mm-hmm. So I think this is going to be interesting. And I'll be interested to see how the Spurs fans act between now and January with Semenyo. But I think there's loads of other good wingers out there. I think Malik Fofana of Lyon. I think that, for me, young, not too young, so he's got experience.
Yeah.
Players like that, I'd look at and go, yeah, if you're looking at 30, 40 million, does that free up more money to go elsewhere? I don't know, man.
I'd love that Yildiz.
Oh, class. Yeah.
I would love to get him. And this is the thing. I think the main thing with this window, again, it's going back to ENIC. It's Charlie and Vivian, and obviously Vinay. And let's just put Lange in there because he is there. Let's see. I think it's a massive. Obviously, we can all slander and slam Lange for where was he? What did he do this window? Well, this window, is he going to be empowered? We hear a lot of Vinay and everyone saying it's not micromanaged now. It's not just one man. It's a host of people that are coming to the table and they're all equal and we're pulling together as one. This window is, if let's just say it is Yildiz or Fofana or even a Semenyo, how do Tottenham approach this deal? Are they going to say, right, you want 60 up front? Okay, here's 60. We've got the money.
Yeah.
Because you've got to remember as well, ENIC saying they've put that 100 million in, which is great, whether that's all for transfers or financials, but whatever words they wanted to use, you've got to remember as well how much of the revenue coming in on top of that are Spurs going to be allowed to spend. Beforehand, it was just nothing goes on the team. We'll here we go, a couple of buys here and there. Are Spurs actually going to say, right, this time everything does go back into the club? Here's XYZ from the concerts. Here's XYZ from gate receipts. Here's XYZ from... We don't know. But I think if Spurs could address with a real quality left winger or striker, I mean, in a dreamland, both, but let's just be serious for a minute. If Spurs could fill one of those in January, and it is a proper, okay, this guy is the real deal. Yeah. This isn't 2 years, he'll be great or whatever. This is this guy.
Right now.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, if it's come from an international league, you're like, all right, he needs a bit of a settling in time. But you know that once he's settled, he can do the business. I'm going to be absolutely fine with that. You've addressed a key need with a player that's ready for now, that can have an impact in the season ahead now. Give Frank more options, then I'm going to be over the moon. What I do want to see is with fringe players, if decent bids come in for them, do Tottenham Hotspur's new look say, right, okay, listen, it's a decent transfer fee for you. We're getting rid of you, so this money can go back to Frank to invest in quality to the squad. So it'll be good to see, interesting, sorry, should I say, to see, rather than loaning players out near the end of their contract and going, yeah, we just wait till your contract runs out and losing money. If we get offers, will Spurs listen to them and act on them rather than literally just waiting for them to go down to pennies or free? It's an interesting time. It's an interesting time, isn't it?
Absolutely. Look, I mean, everyone knows I was so pissed off we did not address the left side in the window. It's the one position in the team where we lost our main man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, I have to caveat this. It wasn't that I didn't think Son should go. It doesn't mean he shouldn't be replaced, right? I was so annoyed we didn't get a left-sided player. So annoyed, because I genuinely think with the way the Premier League is right now, I feel like we could have been, and we still could, but I genuinely feel we could have been shooing for top 4 had we have bought just one or two more bits of quality. However, keep yourself in and around that mix until January, and then go again. But I would like to think that Spurs are talking to those players now, not the players, the agents. I'd like to think that's what's happening, that we're not going, oh, January the 1st, right, what should we do?
Yeah.
Club should know. Come January the 1st, club should know, right, let's make that bid we talked about.
Yeah.
Let's, call that club that we talked about. But I make you right. But I think everyone's talking as though Semenyo's the only one. I think Semenyo's going to have multiple suitors. I do.
Mm-hmm.
I think he will. And I think that there are other footballers across the world that we can look at. And I feel like we've just not got to fall into that trap of it's Semenyo or nothing, because I'll call out some of the fan base here, Brian. I remember talking about Semenyo at the beginning of the transfer window when we were linked. And they went, oh, Spurs can have him, but they want 70. Most of the fan base went, 70 million for Semenyo.
Mm-hmm.
God, he's had one good year.
Mm-hmm.
7 Premier League games later, Brian, everyone's going, I'd pay 100.
Yep.
Whoa. Yep. So football can change very quickly. If Semenyo has a bad 10 games now, if he has a bad 10 Premier League games between now and January or 11, whatever it is, people will suddenly change their mind, and it will be, oh, we should have got Lookman, or we should have got Fofana, or we. Yep. But it's exciting. Let's see what happens, right? I'm more excited now, looking forward to this window.
Yeah, I mean, what I'll say to you, Sav, is like you said, I was a bit frustrated that we didn't address the left as well. I thought a Lookman might have come in, but maybe we couldn't get the deal over the line, or maybe the deal we wanted wasn't the deal that Atalanta were offering or prepared to. But yes, it was annoying, but I see it that Frank has. We're stacked in that area. They may not be quality. They may not be the quality we need, but there are 5 people. And if Thomas Frank says, right, do you know what? The rest of the squad I can deal with. This will get me through till January. If we go and address that in January now with a key left winger, rather than have wasted and got a last minute bargain or a loan, whatever, then we'll all be like, thank God we waited till January. This guy's come in. So that's the plus side of it. If we don't address that area or striker in the window, then you're like, well, what was the plan here? Unless Mawani gets off to an absolute flyer or Solanke comes in and is bang amongst the goals, we'll have to wait and see. But right now, as you say it, you look at from where we were last season and prior seasons, I think we are just a serious left winger and striker away from challenging for the top 4, like regularly under Frank.
I agree.
That's all it is.
I still think there is one position that I've been adamant about for a long time. I still think we need a proper ball playing number 8. I think we need a really, really good number 8 midfielder that goes in there and runs the show. But you are right. You are right. We can get away with that if you've got that functional attack.
Yeah.
And look, I think it's going to be interesting. Look, there's names being put in the chat. We've got people talking about Fofana, people talking about Yildiz, people talking about Semenyo. What I do know is it is difficult in January. Whichever way we look at it, it's difficult. But we're going to see. Do we want to be that club that finds something difficult and goes, yeah, this is difficult, but we're going to do it. We're
Well,
going to
wouldn't that
find.
be Savva, wouldn't that be the perfect way to show that things have changed? To say,
Absolutely.
right, let's say it was a Yildiz or a Fofana, which I believe is probably more likely because of the fee or whatever. Because I think if he is available for 100 mil, I do think other teams will come and swallow us whole. But that's just because the way they've been geared up over the years, not because of bad Enoch or anything like that. But I do think a Yildiz or a Fofana, who are very hot properties, you go and get a deal like that done in January. And then all the times Spurs have had to deal with, what deals are hard in January. We still got Dragusin in January and paid a hefty fee. We got Bentancur and Kulusevski in January. We got Porro in January. Yes, we all know the struggles of trying to get them in and the tit for tat. If Spurs just go, right, let's just say Yildiz, because it's the guy I mentioned, and the club want X, Y, Z, and Spurs go, all right, little bit of to-in and throwing, but go, all right, this is a deal, we'll get... That will show to me, to begin with, they had to make a mark and put down a statement. Mission completed.
But what we've also got to take into account, I know people don't like me talking about this, but I always will talk about uncomfortable things, is we've got to bear in mind that other clubs might want these players as well.
Yep.
Right? So, let's use Yildiz, for example. I don't believe in any way, shape or form. And by the way, I've not seen a single link with Spurs to Yildiz, by the way. This is just purely me fabricating this. If Spurs turn around and go, we want Yildiz, do we believe that no other top club across Europe is going to also be linked with Yildiz? And this is why sometimes I think we can't be so harsh on the club because, as I said, there's a football food chain. If we're going for Yildiz, but so do Barcelona, just for example, Barcelona, Real Madrid, I'm pretty comfortable knowing that my club is going to be beaten to those players by those big clubs. So I think there's got to be a little bit of scouting that goes into this as well. Maybe it's somebody that none of us are looking at. Do you know what I mean? Maybe it's somebody that's that's up and coming. I don't mean up and coming like an 18-year-old, but maybe somewhere where you go, they've just gone under that radar a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The way Man City went and got Marmoush. Yeah, Marmoush was getting talked about, but it wasn't like he was like the best of the best of the best. So we've got to take that into account as well. Like an Ekatike.
Yeah, what I will say with that, Sarah, this comes down to Enoch. Look at the Eze deal and deals where we kind of had a pole position place and then we've messed about and done whatever, and then the big clubs come in. If it's, we'll carry on using Yildiz because we have been. If Spurs desperately want him, and have been speaking, like I said, apparently a meeting's happening today with Frank and the hierarchy with attacking options and where to go so the club know what to do. Let's hope Spurs now move quickly and wrap deals up. They don't stop and start and mutter and change deals. And let's see Spurs go, right, we know this guy might be a hot property. Let's move and move quickly and get this done and get it wrapped up before the big boys have a chance to come in. It's like I said, we don't know. Maybe if a big team come in, it will be complicated and we might lose. And that's understandable if you do lose it to a bigger club that comes in. But if Spurs can get the pole position, have done everything right and have these meetings that are happening now so they're ready, if you lose out on that one, then they should be ready right away to go on option B. Bang, right, we've lost this one. Let's let's just get everything together. We go for this one. I think it's I think Spurs will make a left winger or striker signing within the first 5 days of the January transfer window. They'll put a statement down.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it because I feel like if we can keep pushing through, if we can keep pushing through as we are now. By the way, I don't expect us, I don't expect us to just suddenly go the next 7 games and only lose 1 again. Do you know what I mean? I feel like there will be defeats in this campaign. I think people need to be aware of this. But I just think we've got to keep yourself there. Keep yourself in that pack. And I believe top 5 gets Champions League again. I'm pretty sure because
apparently
of the points. Keep yourself there or thereabouts for me. Now, I've said I think Spurs will finish 6th with the current squad. 1 or 2 additions, I don't see why we can't get full 4th, 5th. But it's got to be the right addition, and it's got to be the right player for me. So it's interesting. It's I feel more comfortable with Tottenham as a whole right now.
Night and day. And Savva, you say that with right now with City. You got to remember, soon we'll have Dragusin, Solanke, Mawani, and soon Kulusevski available again. Now, people may not like those players or think they're not good enough or where they fit into the system. That is for quality players, whether you like in their positions, but coming in to add strength and depth. This is, I mean, they're coming back in, and I love what they're doing with Dragusin. Dragusin could have got an international duty, but Dragusin and Tottenham have. How long have we waited for Tottenham to have the ball to turn around and go, no, you're not taking him on international duty. He's not ready. We're not doing this. Well, Dragusin did an interview saying Romania wanted to call me up, but I and Tottenham said no. Yeah. It's better for me, obviously, World Cup year as well, that I get up to peak fitness and stronger, so I can be there for the long haul rather than just coming back and breaking down. They did it with Richarlison, didn't they? When Richarlison came back, they said, right, we're giving him an extra week because we need to be careful with him. If someone would have said to you this season, he would have been our only striker from the beginning of the season and he hasn't picked up an injury since mid-October, I don't think anyone would have taken that bet. I don't think anyone. And you've got Sakai, who obviously we don't know anything about him, but he'll be amongst the team. Dragusin, Kulusevski, and Solanke, and hopefully Mawani available to the squad we have. And we keep. One of the things I've loved is when he has rotated, you look at that bench and it looks a lot stronger than it has done for a very long time. And I'm talking previous managers as well, not just Ange, Jose, Conte. You look at that bench now, it may not be super strong and go, oh my God, that's a bit, but there are game changers that can come on and have an impact and make a difference, which is something we've been lacking for a long time. Then you add those returning players, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and that's what we've got to work towards. And as you said, listen, I'm not Solanke's biggest fan, but I can see that him coming back into the squad adds competition up front. It gives you a different dynamic. Kulusevski, again, I don't lose my mind over him, but a very good technical footballer that will offer you something different. He'll link up well, I'm sure, with Kudus and with Simmons. You've got Maddison in at the end of the season to come back in as well. And I think people are seeing how good Maddison is now he's not playing. He's one of those. I think people are seeing how good would we be now with Maddison and Simmons and Kudus, all. So I make you right, mate. I make you right. And that's what makes the next couple of windows so important. We've got a chance here to go, right, do we want to add, in the next two windows, do we want to add 3 or 4 players of quality and acknowledge we don't need any more kids. Mm-hmm. We don't need any more hit and hopes, any more kids. We've got loads of them. You've got Tell and Odeber and Yang. You've got Vuskovic to come through. Adogi's still young. Sar's young. Gray, Bergvall. We don't need Phillips. You don't need any more young players. Let's make sure that the next 3 or 4 that you add into this squad are quality footballers. Mm-hmm. And hopefully some of the youngsters, they won't all, but some of the youngsters that are there come through, develop, grow. All of a sudden, we could be sitting here in a couple of years with a really, really good squad of footballers where we're going, could we challenge? Not now, but could we? I don't know.
Well, mate, Savva, you look at it, and you and I have said this before many a times as well. Signing someone of Paulinho's age, forget how brilliant he's been, but this is what we've needed. Forget positional wise, but for his experience, his knowledge, what he can pass down, what the youngsters and other players can see on the training ground. Sometimes you need, I know Spurs and a lot of clubs don't like to sign players over 30 or whatever, or put them on long contracts. Like I said at the beginning of the first stream, Paulinho, I think, has been one of the signings, if not the signing of the Premier League window. In all honesty, I think for what the player does and what the player has been bought in for, he's already got the most tackles in the Premier League. Shock horror. He is, watching him live is incredible. He spots danger in his anticipation. Players like Archie Gray and the youngsters that are around that club right now are seeing what this guy does and seeing how good he is and what physical shape he is in the latter part of his career, signing players that are key like that can pass knowledge down on the pitch, off the pitch. This is how you see a game through. This is how we keep. They are fundamental. It just goes to show how key the right player to do that job is, and there is no one better than Paulinho at what we needed.
And this is why I can't stand it when fans try and shoehorn everybody into a position that isn't theirs. I'm so sick of hearing, oh, Romero should have been a 6. No, he shouldn't. You're watching Paulinho play. That's how you play the number 6.
Yeah,
Porro should be a right winger. No, Porro is not a right winger. If you put him to the right wing, you lose all of what makes him going up and down the line. You lose all of that.
Yeah.
You know, oh, Kudus should go on the left. No, Kudus is our right winger. And we need to get to this stage of the football club where we bring in the right profile of player for the right position. No more warning. No more. Could he play there? Could he play there? You need a left back. Get a left back. Not well, we could put Van der Ven there. No. Go and get what you. Be a big club. Go and get what you need. Look at. I hate to say it. Look at Arsenal this summer. Right? I hate to say it. Arsenal needed a playmaker. They got Eze. They needed more wingers. They went and got Madueke. They needed a striker. They got Gyökeres. They needed depth at centre half, so they bought Mosquera and Hincapi. Right? They needed midfielders. They got Zubimendi. Right? And Norgard for depth. Right? So when you look at all of this, that's what I want us to be, not Arsenal. I want us to go, what position do we need? Let's get it.
Yep.
Not, well, we could cover left wing. No. You want a left winger?
Go get yourself one.
Left winger, you know? So, but it's all so positive right now. It has to be seen as positive at the moment.
Like I said, I'm absolutely buzzing as a Spurs fan now. I love game day. I love seeing the tactical battles. I love seeing the challenges Frank's having to overcome, how he's addressing situations in game. I'm loving the connection with Frank, and I had a lot of friends that went to the Leeds game, and they were calling me on the way back, and they were like, "Brian, you were right about Frank, whatever," but they're saying, "Do you know what? With that celebration they were doing, they said this is the most I've ever seen the team together as a unit. Like the bond is there since Poch."
Well, like a lot of people are saying that from within inside the club that the players are really happy in and around the training ground, and that there's a real togetherness. You could see it even in that first interview. I don't know. If you remember that first interview Thomas Frank did, and alongside it, they showed him being shown around the training ground. He's so warm with everyone.
Yep.
He'll have that chat. Hey, come here, listen, I'm not going to play you today. Here's why, what I need to work with you on. You know, he's that guy, isn't he? He's, listen, I'm a big fan, a huge fan. And listen, I don't want to labor the point today, but yeah, I'm really happy with where the club is going. However, there's that cautiously optimistic part of me, which is like, okay, well, let's see. Let's see, because straight away we're linked to so I'm not talking to myself. The wife has just come in the house. I promise you, honestly, everyone, I'm not talking.
I heard the heels, definitely.
Like straight away at the weekend, just for the last five minutes or so, at the weekend, it was announced that Florian Plettenberg said that Tottenham are one of several clubs that are interested in Kevin Schade. And it did the usual. It made the fan base straight away in these videos and stuff. The comments of the videos, it was lots of people going, I like him. Yeah, he's decent. And a lot of people going, oh, but isn't this a typical type of signing where he's okay, but is he the ambition? Is he pushing the boat out? So that's why I want to wait and see to January in the summer and see what are we doing here. Yeah, that's what I want to see.
I mean, Kevin Schade, I'm absolutely fine with bringing. If Thomas Frank wants to bring a player in from Brentford who had a great season under him last season, knows how to get the best out of him, we got to keep remembering, and it's what I'm making sure I keep focused on. One of the main attributes that we all loved about Thomas Frank is his ability to coach players and elevate their game. And we're not just talking having the good players and making them great, or the very good players and making them elite. We're talking about absolutely unknown people that have gone on for very big moves at very, very big football clubs. So if we sign someone, I need to go Danny Rose and Google it. If it's been identified by Thomas Frank and his coaching staff, fine. I don't want that to be the left winger, so to speak. I think we need a guaranteed left winger to come in. But if we sign a left winger of high quality and then a Thomas Frank kind of, I don't know who this is, absolutely fine. Delighted. I think for those two positions that we're talking about, left wing and striker, we need key, recognisable, does what it says on the tin players, not potential, not could be. But it's very, very exciting. If Kevin Schade is the one that Thomas Frank says, I want, go get him and let Thomas Frank do what he does.
Well, that's the flip side to it, isn't it? This is the flip side to when I did a video on Saturday about Schade. This is what I said. I'll be, I'm very open and transparent about my thing. I think Kevin Schade is a good player. I think he's good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like, oh my God, we must sign Kevin Schade. I think he's a good player. I think he's the sort of player I want in my squad. I think you're right, though. If he's going to be my squad player, I want a top forward and a top striker, and then I want a Schade coming off the bench fighting for a place. What I don't want to see is that we sign Kevin Schade and that's the main man. However, you're absolutely spot on. If this is the guy, and I don't know it is, all we're hearing is that we're monitoring him. We know Brian Daigle loves his buzzword.
I love it.
If this is a guy that Thomas Frank wants, then I can't sit here and go, I really trust Thomas Frank, and in the next breath go, why does he want him? Right? Do you know what I mean? Like, why does he want him? Because the difference with Schade is he knows Schade. He bought him, didn't he, from Freiburg. I think he bought him from Freiburg, developed him into the Brentford team, and now he's a German international as well. So he's developed him into being an international footballer. So there's that give or take of what we think versus what Thomas Frank thinks and what Thomas Frank knows he can do to develop the player. So there's that trade-off, right?
There is, but what you got to look at it as well, Savva. People are saying the attacking play needs to get better, and in some ways, it is the part that's lacking right now from what we're doing. But this is what he's seen with Schade at Brentford. Could you imagine Kevin Schade being able to do what he does for Brentford, knowing he's got a Paulinho man in that back line, so the defence is there and solid. Then you put a Kudu to Simmons and whoever the striker is. You're dealing with pure quality around him. Kind of like last with Pochettino when they had Dembele and Wanyama. It allowed the Ericssons, the Sonnies, the Delis, the Kanes to do what they did up there because there was complete faith and trust in what was behind them. So you put a Schade, not saying he'll be an overnight success and smashing it, but with no disrespect to Brentford, a club I highly rate and don't want to see go down at any point because I think they are brilliant.
Yeah, I like them as well.
You put a Paulinho, a Bentancur, a Bergvall, Sarr, and then that back four, and then with that Kudu, Simmons, and whoever, Schade could be absolutely incredible for us. Not saying he will, but he's definitely got quality around him, and Frank knows him best. So, again, you'd want to see, I really want to see the players we've mentioned left wing wise. I don't think it'll be Semenyo, but if it's Yildiz or Fofana, I'm even more excited with what's going on. Like I said, right now, I'm just enjoying, for once, I'm just fully focused, always back my team every single week, just like you. But now I'm always there. I'm not like, what's this person up here doing or thinking or saying or lying about? It's just like, I'm just enjoying for the first time in 17 years.
From Brian Daigle's shoulder.
Mate, honestly, this is, like I keep saying, when women say they've got their pregnancy glow, this is my post-Levy glow. I am glowing. I am sparkling. I am everything. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful time to be a Spurs fan.
Listen, as I said, I'm calm about everything. I'm really calm. I think that everything's getting blown out of proportion every time we don't win a game. Every time we don't win a game, it's almost as though people are looking at our squad and not realizing this squad shouldn't win every game. If it did and we won 38 out of 38, brilliant. But it shouldn't. It's not there. Liverpool, by the way, Liverpool have lost 3 games this season.
Yep.
Liverpool have lost 3 games this season.
In a row.
You've got fans criticising Thomas Frank, who's lost 1 game.
Yep. And after the Palace defeat, we're now the longest running unbeaten club. We're the top of the unbeaten run in the Premier League. Like I said, if someone has said to you, what we played, seven Premier League games now, or is it 8? Or whatever it is. We haven't lost for 7, but how many games? So that was our 3rd game. So we played 9 games. No?
There you go, the Premier League. So Tottenham, we haven't lost for 4. We haven't lost for 4.
Okay, we haven't lost for 4. So how many games have we played? 7?
We played 7, won 4, drawn 2. I'll tell you what, I'll tell you what, would it help if I did
And
this?
I think 3 of them in the league are clean sheets.
There you go. There you go. So win, loss, win, draw, draw, win. So in the last 4 games, I'm just trying to see who hasn't lost in the last 4 games. So Arsenal, Spurs, Bournemouth, City. I think that should be it, right? I can't imagine any of the others down the bottom. And Villa. And Villa as well.
Okay.
Villa just coming into form just as they're about to play Tottenham. Yeah. But no, look, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Brian. At the end of the day, all is good. I'm going to leave it there.
Yeah. Well, what a great way to leave it. Everything is good. The future's bright. The future's lily white. And let's just keep going.
Do you know what? I was speaking off screen the other day to Wolfie Forrest, and we were talking about.
He's happy at the moment, isn't he?
Well, yeah. We were talking about. Isn't it mad though that like when you've got the manager that causes divide and drama and the results are terrible, views on YouTube go like that.
Mm-hmm.
When you've got the calm and most of the results are decent and that, and there isn't really any drama, there's nothing stupid being said in press conferences. Isn't it funny how the views just kind of go like that?
It is a mad time to be alive when positivity is not the required currency, should we say, right, for viewing. It's listen. It is what it is.
Do you know what I find funny about it? For years, all I got told was, I hate Ange, right? And I wanted Ange out. And I loved it when Spurs were doing badly for the YouTube views. When I'm sitting here being really positive about Tottenham, it's the viewers are the ones that don't watch as much as the meltdown. Yeah. I know Sunday we're playing Villa, right? I know on Sunday I'll do a watch along and I know how many viewers I'll get. And I know that if we win, I know how many will join the show at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I also know if we lose to Aston Villa, those viewers will double. That's mad. Surely it should be the other way around, shouldn't it?
You think so? But listen, it is what it is. This fan base has been so divided and so split since I think you and I have been doing YouTube. But that could have been because of the manager at the time. It could have been because of the owners with myself. It could have been players. But you know what? For once right now, everything seems to be going in the right direction. Mm-hmm. I have a big discussion with loads of people going, I'm not backing ENIC, I don't trust him, blah. I'm like, all right, that's down to you. I'm giving them 2 windows. It's not the same ENIC. Everything's changed. But I understand. Right now, there is nothing. Yes, there's time to be sceptical about, are ENIC really this new look ENIC going to be acting like they speak? That everyone's right to be sceptical. I am. But I'm like, do you know what? Everything has changed at so many levels. Let's see where this goes.
Yep.
Everyone should be happy with the manager. Whether they don't like his style of play just yet, I will tell you now for a fact, once he's got that striker or that attacking line as he wants it and they understand what he wants, we will be flying. We will be flying, no problem at all. I've got no doubt whatsoever regarding that. The backroom staff with Frank is elite, and I do mean elite. Everyone has a position and they all know what they're doing and they all sing from the same hymn sheet. It's now down to the board at the top to see what's going on. But Spurs now are looking like a proper football club on and off the pitch. And let's see where this ride goes. And I'm going to be positive all the way from here on in.
Yeah, no, completely agree with you. Completely agree with you. Guys, girls, I am going to leave it there. I'm going to just do a couple of super chats. I'm going to send you over to Don Hassam. He's the only one I can see that's live. So when you get there, please just say Savva Raid, good content creator in his own right. Very different to me, but I do like Hassam. He's got some good views. Big up to Paul Langley with a super sticker. Very generous, Paul, as always. Really appreciate you. One of my members as well. Really appreciate that. We will have a members only show Tuesday, either tomorrow or Wednesday. Have the members only show. By the way, this week we've got some more to the season so far. We've got J Rated coming on, Dave, the Irish Hotspurs coming on. We've got one with I've got a Sunderland fan. Got a Sunderland fan who I met doing some filming for the Sun. He's coming on, Comrade. He's a really good guy, good channel. And also we've got on Joe, just Joe from Leeds United. He'll be doing it as well. And a few others. Big up to Smokey Boy, my man Smokey Boy. Thank you so much. Always very generous with these and the coffees. Really appreciate you. Much love to all of you. Take care. Please subscribe to Tottenham on Tour. Please subscribe to Football Heritage TV. I'll be back at 6 p.m. with Perchy for the What Are We Doing Here podcast, followed by 8 p.m. the Spurs 5. Don't listen to the rumours. The Spurs 5 is not shutting down. I don't know where this came from. I don't know why I keep getting people asking me if the channel shut down. No, we're live tonight at 8 p.m. Big up to Andy Lester chucking in the last-minute super sticker, like a last-minute winner that's hit somebody's arse and gone in when they don't deserve the win. Big up, Andy. Really appreciate you, my man. Take care. Much love. Savva raid when you get to a Sam. Brian, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
As always. And as always, come on.
Come on.
You Spurs.